experts. How do we know that somebody knows what they're talking about? And if you call yourself an expert, how do other people know that you know what you're talking about? And we could say, well, they're qualified. They're a doctor or a lawyer or an architect or an engineer or a builder. They've got a qualification that says that they are capable of doing that particular mission. Does that mean that somebody's good at what they do? And of course the answer is no, because there's plenty of builders with builder's licenses who build terrible houses. There's plenty of doctors who give you bad advice. There's plenty of lawyers who can still get you into trouble, even though they're fully qualified or they've got a bit of paper that says that they're qualified. The reverse of that, and I'm an exercise professional, it seems that if you've got ripped abdominals or tight butt cheeks, or you own a gym, or you've been training people, elite athletes, for example, for a very long time, or you are an elite athlete, then people say, well, they must know what they're talking about because look, they've got tight butt cheeks and ripped abdominals. Does that mean that somebody knows what they're talking about? And of course the answer is no, because there's plenty of people with tight butt cheeks who don't even know the names of the muscles in their posterior area. There are plenty of people that own gyms that have never done a qualification to help people become healthy, fit and strong for the rest of their life. So we're in a real conundrum if you are just a human being who wants help. And as an old lady, this has been a really interesting experience for me because I came into the exercise professional believing that the experts were experts. If they had qualifications or they owned a gym or they had 500 people in their class, and when I came into the exercise profession, there were people that had 500 people in their class. And it's interesting because that says, well, they must know what they're talking about. Look at all the people that follow them. We have the same small challenge now, or large challenge. Look at all the people that follow them on social media. Health and wellness influencers have millions, hundreds of millions sometimes of followers that believe what they say. But does that mean it's true? And it's a very conflicting, confusing, controversial question. Somebody just said to me recently, I'm not going to that doctor because the doctor's fat. And I can't disagree with that statement. If somebody studied the human body and they're not looking after their own human body, then there's a challenge there with whether you call them a hypocrite or they don't practice what they preach, or it just doesn't make sense that somebody that understands how the human body works wouldn't look after their own body. So my answer is very simple. I've asked a lot of questions, but I think the answer is very simple. You're a human being, you've got to live in your body for the rest of your life. How about learn how it works? And if you have to go then to another kind of expert, like a car mechanic or a doctor or a lawyer or an engineer or an accountant, would it be a really good idea to do some research before you go so that you can ask intelligent questions, so that you can test and measure whether that person knows what they're talking about? Just because somebody's got a qualification on the wall doesn't mean that they're going to be able to help you. Just because somebody's got ripped abdominals doesn't mean they're going to be able to help you get ripped abdominals. Just because somebody's got 100 million followers on social media doesn't mean that they know what they're talking about. And that's my favorite quote when it comes to all of that. 50 million people doing a dumb thing doesn't mean it's not a dumb thing. It just means a lot of people that follow. So I believe in critical thinking. I believe in study for yourself, train, educate and learn for yourself so that you don't get bamboozled, don't get led down the garden path, don't get conned, don't get ripped off. All those horrible things that happen when you trust somebody and they are not trustworthy. I don't want to go and see a fat doctor. I'll say that very openly. I study the human body. I look after my body, and I don't want to go and listen to somebody talk about how the human body works and they don't look after their own body. I don't want to go to a car mechanic that's got a busted car. I don't want to go to a hairdresser that's got horrible hair. I think there's a lot to be said about practice what you preach. So could it be a really great idea if you are an expert or you call yourself an expert that your piece of paper says, yes, I've done the training, but could the ongoing education, training and learning be more important than the piece of paper? Very sadly in the exercise profession though, and please be very aware of this, there's too many countries in the world where you don't have to have a piece of paper. There are plenty of people that call themselves personal trainers or gym instructors or fitness instructors or wellness, health, fitness influencers now that don't have any qualification. If you ask them, how does the endocrine system work, or how do muscles grow, or what's a myokine, or how does brain-derived neurotropic factor work inside the brain and the body, they will look at you with a very blank face because they've got absolutely no idea what you're talking about. Wouldn't that be sad? I always ask this question: if you're going to put your body or your life or anything to do with your life in the hands of somebody else, wouldn't it be nice to know that they've got capable hands? And how would you know that? Ripped abdominals doesn't cut it, but 5 different medical degrees doesn't cut it either. We need to study, learn and educate for ourselves. And I'll just share as a final note, because this is something to be really aware of. One of the biggest killers in the world right now is medical misdiagnosis. So if you get the wrong doctor, give you the wrong diagnosis, you could die. That's how serious that is. So whatever you go to a medical professional for, or any other professional, maybe get a second opinion, third opinion, fourth opinion, rather than just believe and follow. Could that be a really good idea? If you want to live your life to the max, learn how your human body works, learn how to run a business, learn how to be financially free, learn how to have great relationships. They're the 4 things that I bang on about every single day. Healthy, fit and strong, have a career or business that you love, be financially free, have great people in your life, and live your life to the max, because you study those things every single day. Learn, 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 learn. Woohoo!